Welcome to today's episode of the California GACCs Weather Terms video series. Our topic for today will be a tutorial on the wind barbs that are frequently shown on many weather maps. We frequently receive questions asking how to interpret wind barbs, so in this video we will briefly go over them. Since wind has both a speed and a direction component, it is difficult to express both separately on a weather map, especially combined with other information such as temperature or humidity. To make the maps easier and cleaner to read, the speed and direction are combined into a single icon we call a wind barb. On some weather maps, wind barbs are accompanied with adjacent numbers including air temperature, dew point, and atmospheric pressure. This grouping of information is called a station plot, where multiple current weather conditions from a single weather station are shown concurrently. On other maps, wind barbs are shown on their own, like this map shown here. Let's break down what a wind barb is composed of. There are two main components, and each component describes either the speed or the direction. The main body of the wind barb is the tail, which describes the wind direction. The short lines or triangular flags extending from the tail describe the wind speed based on how many lines or flags are shown. It is important to remember that the wind direction is defined by the direction the wind is coming from when discussing weather. For example, a west wind is a wind that moves from west towards the east. So when looking at the tail of the wind barb, how can you tell the direction when it has two ends? The wind direction is read by following the tail from the side with lines or flags to the bare end based on a 360-degree circular compass. Let's look at some real-life examples of wind observations to illustrate wind barb directions on a weather map. On this map of the Banning Pass in Southern California, most of the wind barbs plotted are oriented from the left to the right. These are considered west winds, though do notice some observations have a little more of a component to the north or south. On this map of Ventura County during a Santa Ana wind event in the fall of 2023, you can see most wind barbs are oriented from the upper right to lower left. These are indicative of northeast winds. The wind speed is indicated by the combination of lines and/or flags on the end of the wind barb. There are three symbols that are used, each representing a different speed. This short hash mark represents a wind speed of 5 knots. The longer line represents 10 knots, and the triangular flag represents 50 knots. Therefore, the wind speed is simply the sum of the values of each of the symbols on the wind barb. For example, this wind barb has one short hash mark and two longer lines, meaning that the wind speed is 25 knots. Since we usually speak about wind in terms of miles per hour, you can convert from knots by multiplying by 1.15. To provide an example, 10 knots is equal to 11.5 miles per hour, and 30 knots is 34.5 miles an hour. Check out this image that shows many different combinations of icons and what they represent, and feel free to pause the video to take a closer look. That's it for today's episode of California GACCs Weather Terms. We hope you now have a greater understanding of how to interpret wind barbs when you see them on any of our weather graphics. Let any of us know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.